Welcome to Essentials of Acute Care. I'm Dr. Sunil Garg. This platform is meant for all those who are involved in saving lives through critical care. In this video today, I'm going to discuss about initiating invasive mechanical ventilation in adult patients in ICU, Part 1, Indications and Objectives. First, we will go through what exactly happens during delivery of positive pressure breath on ventilator. There is delivery of positive pressure to the lung via an artificial airway, and during inspiration, mixture of air which contains predetermined oxygen concentration is forced into the central airways. And as a result of this, intra-alveolar pressure increases, and the end of inspiration is decided by termination signal, which is usually either flow or pressure value. It causes ventilator to stop forcing air into the central airways, and expiration follows passively, with air flowing from the higher pressure alveoli to the lower pressure central airways. It means during positive pressure ventilation, inspiration is active process and expiration is passive process. Regarding indication of ventilator, mainly it has two functions. One important indication is to support gas exchange, whether it is oxygen or carbon dioxide. Another important function is to partially or completely replace or take over work of breathing until resolution of underlying illness. Another important function which needs mention is to protect airway, though primarily airway protection is done with endotracheal intubation, but most of these patients are connected to ventilator after intubation. Intubation should be considered early in the course of the illness rather than delaying it. These are different respiratory conditions which may warrant the need of invasive mechanical ventilator. It is important to understand that these indications must be interpreted in patient context and should not be taken as such. The presence of apnea, stridor, severely depressed mental status, flail chest, inability to clear respiratory secretions, unable to protect airway because of neurological illnesses, and trauma to the airway becomes an important indication for airway protection and subsequent ventilatory support. Any measure of decreased or inadequate ventilatory reserve may lead to initiation of mechanical ventilation, and it includes parameters based on high respiratory rate, inadequate tidal volume, vital capacity, mint volume, or weak negative inspiratory force, or the rise in the CO2 in appropriate clinical condition becomes an important indication for the mechanical ventilatory support. Additionally, the presence of refractory hypoxemia as suggested by the increased alveolar arterial gradient or the partial pressure of the oxygen less than 55 on supplemental oxygen is an important indication of mechanical ventilatory support. Here are the disease condition or process which may require mechanical ventilatory support, and it includes alveolar filling process like in pneumonia, non-cardiogenic and cardiogenic pulmonary edema, pulmonary hemorrhage, volume overload, and alveolar proteinosis. The pulmonary vascular disease process like embolism, airway obstruction like tumor, angioedema, tracheal stenosis, or more peripheral obstruction like asthma and COPD. The causes of hypoventilation like general anesthesia, drug overdose, or muscular diseases like myasthenia gravis, GBS, tetanus, cervical quadriplegia, muscle disease, kyphoscoliosis, flail chest, pneumothorax, and massive pleural effusion, or when the patient has increased ventilatory demand like in patients of severe sepsis or septic shock, or when the patient is in the severe metabolic acidosis. Now we understand indication of mechanical ventilation, but in terms of its objective, as discussed earlier, it provides or it supports gas exchange based on alveolar ventilation and arterial oxygenation level. It also reduces the work of breathing or the metabolic cost of breathing by unloading the ventilatory muscles. While we apply ventilator to provide patient with the maximum benefits, but patients are at risk of ventilator-induced lung injury while receiving positive breath. So all measures should be taken to prevent or minimize it. In terms of clinical objective, it includes reversing hypoxemia, acute respiratory acidosis, respiratory distress, ventilatory muscle fatigue, or preventing or reversing atelectasis. It helps in stabilizing chest wall like in flail chest, airway protection, It decreases systemic or myocardial oxygen demand like in patient with shock, or permits sedation and or neuromuscular blockade like in patient with the non-convulsive or convulsive status epilepticus, or while achieving hypothermia or dealing with the patient with the raised intracranial pressure. Thanks for watching this video. Hope this video was useful for you. If you have any feedback, suggestion or comments, please write down in the comment section box. Once again, thanks for watching this video.